This one is not that great, even for the harem anime standards. But hey, I won't say no to some titties and cute teenage girls. So yeah, I gave the show a try, and for someone that really enjoys getting the same thing over and over again, I liked it. Not much innovative or interesting in Dragonar Academy, and yet, as long as I get some nudity, I'm all but captivated in this title. We also have tentacles getting nasty with our girls quite early into the show. So yeah, I kinda like this. Now given the title, it's pretty obvious that we will be dealing with some dragons. Thankfully, we get some humanoid looking ones, like the pink hair loli, who seems to be the main chick from the harem. The fan service is what kept me going, I won't lie. Therefore it was awesome to see boobs every single episode. The premise of the show is about riding dragons and other stuff. Naturally, the main character is special, and he can ride any dragon without being his initial partner. And of course, he's some sort of outcast at the beginning, and everyone looks down on him, probably to help us relate to him. It didn't take long for him to get a harem. You see, just like in real life. When you're an outcast and society works against you, all you have to do is wait, and girls will offer themselves to you. Well, I kind of waited some decades now, so I'm very eager to get the girls. You know, the harem that society has promised me. Oh well, until that fateful moment, I'll just jerk off to my waifus. Speaking of which, this show has a decent cast of females. Nothing really amazing, as none of them stands out that much for me to add her photo to my spank bank. But I get the job done. I am visually pleased with what I got. As I said before, I won't say no to an HA harem anime title. Let's talk about the art style. The show went for the painfully shonen look. You know, the infamous SAO shonen mainstream kata design. The girls are cute and busty. They look like dolls. Something I very much enjoy. Damn, I like to see my classmates. Those bouncy round boobs are surprisingly well with their petite bodies. It's safe to say all of them are more or less lolis. Sure, Echo's obviously the petite one from the bunch, but all of them have very plump and healthy look. Now I know why rappers call girl shorties. They must be watching anime like I do. Anyhow, the show has some nice bright colors, and it only helps to have them be placed next to darker backgrounds. It gives them an artistic look, which kinda makes it stand out from the other titles. This is definitely the positive side. Also, I like their eyes. Sure, anime eyes are mostly big and innocent, but here it works really well with the overall character design. These girls are so damn cute and pretty. The Southern Asgard protagonist can't spoil the awesomeness of these chicks. This is why I can enjoy and appreciate any ecchi harem anime out there. I mostly focus on the females, and this genre never disappoints. I love the end song, by the way. From the catchy tune to the bright, colorful visuals, this is definitely a case of the end song being better than the opening theme of the anime. I also like the little choreography, as the cute girls are dancing innocently in front of the screen. I've been mentioning the word cute a lot, because the show has a lateral approach to the action genre, and it mostly focuses on the interaction of our harem king with his distinguished harem. We have dragon girls, class presidents, nobility, and a princess in the group. So yeah, the protagonist has a lot of options for an early, comfortable retirement. Lucky bastard. Not only is his name Ash, but he's also surrounded by beautiful, rich girls who can secure him fortune and pleasure. Wish I was a frail, pale, teenage-looking boy. Maybe then I would have gotten some in high school. Oh well. I still have college, I guess. Anyway, as I said before, the main character is called Ash, Ash Blake. Now that is a badass name, both in anime and movies. I previously mentioned that we found ourselves in a fantasy world where certain gifted individuals called breeders can trade dragons and are able to ride them into combat. The Dragonar Academy is the best place for breeders to learn and better understand their abilities. It is here that we meet Ash, and he's just been ridiculed and nicknamed the problem child for his inability to have a partner. This seems like the standard harem stuff, and that man does a poor job making me care for this world. It just ain't that dynamic or interesting from the beginning. It feels tired and overused. From the anime tropes to the story structure, even to the mythical angle the show incorporated. This concept should have been amazing, and yet it's so bland and forgettable, as I have little to no interest in finding more about these dragons. Again, we're talking about dragons here, the most amazing creatures a fantasy story can have, and yet this anime manages to make even them boring. It does not help that Echo is a humanoid form, therefore even the dragon angle seems pointless, as they serve barely as a convenient mode of transportation. To add to the complaints, even the action is unengaging and boring, maybe because I have no real reason to care for anything that happens on screen, besides the nudity parts, of course. But otherwise, I wouldn't care less about the brand new Power Rangers outfit Ash gets when he's fighting that huge dragon. They might try to do whatever is popular and cool for the fantasy genre, and yet it brings no originality or style to these overused tropes. It just ends up being forgettable and sad. The good parts, though, are always the fanservice scenes.
Is there a reason why you're invading my personal space like this?
Yes, it's because I want you.
For real?
You can give me the same old panty shot scenario, and I'll still wait for it with joy and anticipation. So yeah, I definitely had many bouncy and colorful reasons to keep me watching this otherwise standard and uninteresting show. But I guess most harem use action and the fantasy elements as mere tools to give more freedom in regard with the kata and fanservice. It's just Dragonar Academy seems like such a lazy attempt to monopolize what was popular at the time. It is hard for me not to criticize, even though I like the girls from the harem. Ash Black is a standard shonen protagonist. He values friendship, thinks outside the box, and has a hard time fighting prejudice of society he was born into. He also has this awesome tattoo on his arm. Weird stuff. But I guess it gives him a bad, tough guy aesthetic, except for the fact that his face makes him look like the most innocent boy you can find. There's also this dragon lady who is molesting him in his dreams. Well, I might just be his imagination. I mean, I've been there too recently. The show makes it clear that we are dealing with a weird and rather real entity. Beautiful woman, I have to admit, probably the form Echo will take once she will no longer be a loli. I know I've mentioned Echo a couple of times, without specifying who she is for the main character, but it just so happens that Ash finds her naked in the forest and makes her his dragon. Not sure it was such a great idea, as this little pink loli turns out to be a demanding tsundere, who actually calls him stupid and refers to him as a dog. I just enjoy stuck-up and tattoo girls, especially when they are this pretty. Echo has attitude to spare, and she promptly informs him that she's the master, and he is her servant.
I'm your master, big stupid mutt. If you know something, it's only fair that I know too.
I'd really rather not.
Fine.
Therefore, reversing the balance of power in the breeders and dragon relationship. Another important character to touch upon is Sylvia. She's a princess and resembles Saber from the Fate Night series. I mean, she's blonde with blue eyes and very determined to follow her conviction. She also seems to be the childhood friend archetype, as her widow becoming a breeder comes from her encounter with Ash, as she was just a child. I like how oblivious she is in regard with that moment.
Who does that ruffian Ash Blake think he is, being able to ride other people's cars?
An encounter so powerful that she has changed her whole identity, and yet she cannot see the obvious resemblance between Ash and the boy that motivated her all those years back. There's a bunch of other colorful bouncy girls to mention, but I only talk about two more before I come to a close. Rebecca is the student council president. She reminds me of Rias from DxD, and she's like a more mature woman, and the voice of reason in many situations, Rebecca is witty and usually solves conflicts with her intelligence and a magical power.
There's just one more thing.
Jessica Valentine is another girl worth mentioning. Her whole shtick is that she wants to marry and make babies with the main character, a worthy life purpose, and I wish she would be able to fulfill it.
It's this! To bear this overnight's children and be his wife!
I give Dragonar Academy a 6.7 out of 10. This is one of the weaker harem anime out there, but still, it is worth a pick.